Section 1, the Development of Business and Management, Chapter 1 focuses on the concept, definition, origins of the subject. You are studying the chapter aims to act as an introduction to the content that you will be studying, and so is distinct part of the course. Each of the section will represent a different focus, and so that introduction to each section are designed to prepare you for this change. However, it is also important to recognize the link and connection between this section, as well as the issues in the chapter within them. The first section will serve two purposes. The first is to equip you with the understanding you will need of the main key terms you are going to be working with. However, you are not just given definition. The idea is to offer you a way of developing your own understanding of key concept and to be able to evaluate the meaning and other attached to the terms you will meet. Secondly, Section 1 discusses the background to the subject so that you can appreciate why and how it has developed. The different influences on its development are important. At first, it may be difficult to see how this is relevant to your wanting to understand business and management today. But the developments of today emerge from this background and are often influenced by the major events and theories of the past. Therefore, this section is a foundation for the rest of the course. In Chapter 2, we look at different approaches to understand the business organization. Several different disciplines are considered. It can be seen from this that the business organization is an integral part of our social lives, can be studied in many different ways. We'll be focusing on how different disciplines have contributed to the fields of business and management. Chapter 1, Concepts, Definition and Origins, Aims of the chapter. Each chapter has specific aims. The aims of this chapter are to identify the key terms and help you to consider why it is important to explore them. Examine alternative definition. Review different ways in which the concepts are understood and used. Explore how business and management emerge as fields of study. Enable you to recognize business and management as a dynamic subject, continually changing and adapting learning outcomes by the end of this chapter. And having complete the essential readings and activities, you should be able to define and evaluate the concept management, business organization, and organizational behavior, and appreciate the variety of possible meanings. Develop an understanding of the subject origin, including the key stage of evolution and the work of the main contributors. Identify and evaluate the influence of the subject historical contents on contemporary developments. Essential reading. This is the first set of essential readings that make up part of your course. Start by reading the subject guide and you will be directed to the readings listed below at the appropriate stage in the chapter. The main reading are taken from your K-Text, Mullins L.J., Management and Organizational Behavior. Essex Pearson Education Limited, 2010. About this book, page XIXXXIV. Read this section now. Before you continue, because it provides important advice on using the K-Text. Also familiarize yourself with the features and resources of the book, such as the useful critical reflection at the end of each chapter. Chapter 1, The Nature of Organizational Behavior, page 2 to 8. The meaning and study of the organizational behavior, influences on behavior, and page 12 to 14, Management as an Integrating Activity. Chapter 2, Approaches to Organization and Management. Chapter 3, The Nature and Context of Organization, page 77 to 81, 94 to 96. Perspectives of the organization, formal and informal organization only. Chapter 11, The Role of the Manager, page 426 to 36, from the meaning of management up to and including management in private enterprise and public sector organization. You will be using the secondary text in some of the chapter that follow, and you may find it useful to familiarize yourself with its layout now. The structure of the book is explained in its Preface, Duff, RL New Era of Management, Masun, Oyo, Southwestern, Cengage, 2008. Further reading, the following are the texts which you may like to refer to for additional material. They are not an essential part of the course and should not be the focus of your studies. Body, D Management and an Introduction, Marlowe, Fifth, Frentice Hall, 2008, Chapter 1 and 2, Cole, GA Management, Theory and Practice, London DP Publication 2000, Chapter 1 and 2, Duff, RL, New Era of Management, Masun, Oyo, Southwestern, Cengage, 2008. Chapters 1 and 2, Massey, JL, Essentials of Management, Upper Saddle, River, NJ Prentice Hall, 1987. Chapter 1 and 2, Beginning Your Study. An important starting point for your study of this course is to identify and understand the main concept used. This is where we shall begin. As this is the first chapter, there are two general aims. One, to help you discover the pattern of working that suit you best. Try different approaches, reading for an hour and then thinking for 15 minutes. For instance, also trying moving between the study guide and the textbook you have obtained. We all learn in our own way, so use this introductory chapter to find what suits you best. Number 2, to help you get to grips with the textbook. Since they have an important role in the course, now spend 15 to 30 minutes looking through the books. The texts are quite substantial, but do not be apprehensive since we only use some section. When there is an essential reading from, say, page 10 to 20, always have a glance at page 5 to 10 and 20 to 25 as well. That way you will see more clearly what the author is saying. 1.1, the importance of K concept. The course you are studying is made up of two major concepts, business and management. A concept is notion or an idea, and in this context, it refers to the key terms used to describe our subject. The central concepts that are relevant here include management, business, organization, and organizational behavior. Beyond this major concept may other exist, and you will be continually meeting new ones. Key concept and your glossary. In the introduction, we look at the value and important to your study of keeping a glossary of key concept. Go back to page 6 of the subject guide if you need to refresh your understanding. One of the aim of this chapter is to provide you with the tools for understanding and evaluating the different concepts you come across both in this course and elsewhere. It is likely that you do have some ideas about what the major terms business, organization, and management mean, but it is vital to recognize that competing definition of this concept exists. By the end of the course, you may well have quite widely differing definition recorded in your glossary. How we define a term has significant implications for how we understand it. Discuss it and research it. Before evaluating a theory or putting forward your own view, it is important to question how the key terms are being used. This can be one of the questions that you ask the sources you read. Are they clear about what the concept mean? Likewise, it is important for you to be clear and to choose the most appropriate meaning for your purpose. For example, how would you construct an entry in your glossary for production management? First, make sure you have the noun product and both the noun management and the verb to manage in your glossary. Then add definition of production and manager. Finally, enter a definition for a production manager. It is important to remember that each of these words has a wide meaning explained in a dictionary. narrow meanings, particularly when used as part of a phrase selected by writers such as Mullins and Duff from the wide meaning. As you can see, a glossary is going to be an important learning tool for you because understanding the key concepts and being clear about how you use them is vital. Now, before you go any further, make sure that you have set up your own glossary. Remember also that the book by Mullins Duff and Buddy have useful glossary.